Hello guys, how do we clone in Cinema 4D? I can teach you, don't worry. Come with me, let's go into our software. Okay, I have my software open. Let's get some objects into our scene. So I have my cube. Let's get a sphere. I have my sphere. Let's add one more to it. What can I go for? What can I go for? What can I go for? So let's go in for a cylinder. So we have three different items in our scene. All right, so before we continue, let me explain in one or two sentences what clone is. So if someone say to clone, the person is trying to say that to make a duplicate of or to reproduce a particular object as many times as possible. So cloning means reproducing the same thing as many as possible. It could be any item, it could be any object. So in this our scene we have our cube, we have a cylinder, and we have a sphere. So we are going to make a clone of some of our objects. So let's get straight into the software. Let's continue in our software. So that is what clone is. To clone is to make a copy, to make a duplicate, to reproduce an object as many times as possible. That is what clone is. So in Cinema 4D we have a tool that is called cloner. So with the cloner, it helps you to make duplicates of objects as many as possible. So let's continue in our software. So we have our items here. We are not going to waste much time. So we have our items in our scene, or our objects in our scene. So with the cloner, find the cloner under the MoGraph. So under the MoGraph, the second item or the second option after Effecto, we have our cloner. So I have selected the cloner. So what will happen here is, depending on the type of object or type of item you want to make a clone of, you select that object or that item, then you make it a child of the cloner by dragging and dropping the item into the cloner layer. So as you can see, let me hide the sphere and the cube so we see. Okay, so just dragging and dropping the cylinder layer into the cloner, it has given us a couple of the cylinder. I think they are about 9. So with this one, if you want to make adjustments to it, you click on the cloner, then you come to your attributes manager. That is just at the down right corner of your screen. So with the properties of the cloner, we have grid array, we have objects, we have linear, radial, and the rest. So at the moment we are working with a grid array. So with the grid array, this is how it works. So you can increase the number of counts. So the more the counts, the more the objects. So now let's make it 5 counts and make this one to 5. Then we have 25 of our clones or of our cylinder. That is how the clone works. So you just make the object a child of the cloner, then you have the opportunity, or you have the access to work with the parameters in your attributes manager. So that is it for the cylinder. Let's use another option. So we will work with the grid array. Let's continue with the radial. So this is what the radial does. So that one, it doesn't have uh, the other counts. This one, you can make it as many counts as possible. So you see, the lesser the count, the fewer the clones. So that is it for the radial. Let's try and use the linear as well, the linear option. So with the linear option, this is how it also works. That one, it goes up, it goes up. So the higher the count, the more the cylinder goes up. So that is it for the linear. So let's continue with the object. Okay, so with the object, what will happen here is we need an object to clone our object, our item to. That is the cloner. So let's use our cube. Let's use our cube. So after making the cylinder a child of the cloner, we are working with the objects at the moment, the object option. So here you need an object to make the clone go around it. So let's use the cube as our object. So you select the cube, then you drag and drop in the options down here. So as you can see, the clone has the cylinder has cloned around the cube. So I think the number is too much. The count is too much. Let's make it about okay, so I think we have about 4 counts. So that is how the objects option also works. So it has a number of um, parameters you can play around with. So that is it for that one. Let's do a different one and let's see how that one also works. So we are done with our cylinder. Let's try and distort our cube to a different shape. Okay, so I have something like a rectangle. So let's go ahead and select our cloner and make the cube a child of the cloner. Okay, so this is what we have here. So it's under the grid array. We still have something like this. So like I said initially, the more the count, the more the number. So let's not waste much time. Let's go onto the other options as well. So this is the linear option. So with the linear option, what you can do is, okay, we have 3 counts. Let's increase the count. Okay, so we have 14 counts. Let's make it 15 at once. We have 15 counts. So the more the counts, the more the shapes. So that is how this one also works. So with this option, you can rotate any of them. So as you can see, I'm rotating from the rotation H. So that is what I'm doing. So as you can see, you can also animate this movement you are seeing, very, very swift. I think I like this movement. So you can animate this movement as well. So that is how the cloner works. So let's see position. So let's get something done. So this one works just like a stairs. So you see how it works, very, very smooth and simple. So with this cloner, if you are working in let's say you are modeling a building, or you are modeling an apartment and you need something like a stairs. With this tool or with the help of the cloner, you can do something simple like this. It's very, very simple. You can use splines as well to come up with something like this. But basically, this is how you can make a staircase with the help of the cloner. So that is how it works. So I think this brings us to the end of this tutorial. I'll do a little animation of the initial movement. I said I like that movement. So let's just do a short animation for that one. So this brings us to the end of our lesson. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you in my next video. See ya!